Hi, hello everybody. Hey, happy Fab Friday. I'm excited to be here. I just wanted to pop in because we're into we've had a week now of our 2-week Shoe Freedom Challenge, which is the challenge where we're making the choice to be willing to let go of waiting for the other shoe to drop and instead choose to notice and savor and enjoy the positive, joyful, fortunate experiences, the blessings, the gifts, the synchronicities, the serendipities, and the miracles, the mini miracles, the master miracles that already exist in our lives. Okay, so it's a mind shift focus away from that fear and anxiety and dread of the other shoe dropping and something happening to what's great and amazing and working in my life right now. What are the blessings that I can look at? Because all of that waiting for the shoe to drop is speculation. And what we can look at in our life right now, what we can savor, the blessings, the good things, the positive things, all of that, that's fact now, right? So we can either live in this place of fear of the unknown, or we can live in the place of being reassured and comforted and acknowledging what already exists. Okay, so that is what Shoe Freedom is. So we've got 1 week in and we're headed into week 2. So I wanted to pop in and talk about some of the challenges or resistance you may be feeling right now as we kind of move into week 2, because what happens, when we attempt to do anything new, right? When we are trying to shift something, when we're trying on something new or we're trying to make a change in our life, is we start out really gung-ho, right? And we're excited about it, but then old habits are hard to break and new habits are hard to make. So we lose momentum, right? That's normal. However, my favorite saying is, if you want different, you have to do different, right? And it's my favorite saying on a number of levels, because it came to me at a time in my life where I really, really needed that. And I've talked about that before in other webinars and classes. But it's also my favorite saying because it is so true and just so simple. Like, it's just a simple fact. If you want different, you have to do different. Like, that's just a simple formula. And if we really want the freedom, and it really is freedom, of letting go of living in dread and living in fear and living in anxiety and playing small in life in fear of the other shoe dropping, then we really do have to do different, right? We can't just keep doing what we've been doing, or we're just going to keep getting what we've always got, right? So we have to make that conscious choice. We have to consciously, intentionally choose to shift our focus away from anticipating and like bracing ourselves for all the negative things that could happen, right? And start focusing on all the good and the grace and the blessings that already exist every day, right? Every day in our lives, right? You can find something every single day. And that's really the challenge of Shoe Freedom, is to find something every day. Little things are just as powerful as big things. In fact, I think the little things are even more powerful, right? Because it's actually the little things in life that make life worth living, right? And so noticing the little things, and there are little things that happen every single day in every one of your lives. It does not matter who you are, what's going on in your life. Every single day, there is something that you can find, that you can enjoy, that you can appreciate, that you can savor, that you can see as a blessing. see as grace in your life. Okay. So I'm going to share a few things that might be causing some resistance, and I'm going to give you some tips to help you overcome them. And then I'll share a few of my own shoe freedom experiences that I've been noticing and savoring. Okay, so the first thing is, and a number of you have kind of talked about this a little bit. A lot of you that are in my private sessions that I'm working with, that are doing this challenge, along with everybody in the Facebook group, and a lot of you who just replied by email that you were joining. So this one is the resistance of not going all in and kind of letting yourself savor all of these little things is because you don't believe. And there's kind of two ways that we're not believing that have come up this week. So the first one is you don't believe miracles or synchronicities or blessings or amazing and good things can and will happen for you. So you have this belief that for whatever reason, they happen for other people, but they don't happen for you. You're not willing to believe that good things can happen to you. And yesterday, I wrote an article that was emailed to everybody that's on my list. And I wrote that miracles are inevitable. And the reason that is because we live in a universe of opposites, right? Where for one thing to exist, so must its opposite, right? So up, down, hot, cold, night, day, tragedy, miracles, right? In order for one thing to exist, the opposite of it also has to exist. Otherwise, how would we ever define it, right? So our world, in our universe of opposites, both tragedy and miracles exist, right? And we acknowledge, we even anticipate the tragedy, right? We anticipate that tragedy will happen. So why is it that we don't acknowledge and anticipate that miracles happen too, right? That good things happen too. We anticipate and we almost expect and we think bad things will happen, but we don't give the same credit or the same credence to positive things happening. If tragedy exists, so must miracles. It's just that we don't give miracles as much attention, right? In fact, quite often we just take them for granted, and doesn't mean they're not happening, right? It just means that they're going unacknowledged. We're not acknowledging the miracles in our lives, right? And I'm going to talk a little bit more about like the effects of that, and why that really doesn't really serve us, right? So I just want to talk about like the other way that we don't believe. So the other way is we don't believe that we deserve good things, right? So in one way, we don't believe that they actually happen, and in another way, we don't believe that we actually deserve them, right? And this is kind of a self-punishment, right? And I shared also in that same article that I wrote yesterday or emailed out yesterday, where I talked about how like years ago when I was married and I had young children, I really didn't believe that I deserved good things, right? And the reason that I didn't believe that I deserved good things is because I believed that I wasn't perfect, right? So why would good things happen for me, right? I don't deserve them because I'm not perfect. And so why am I going to believe in good things? Because then I'm just setting myself up for disappointment by anticipating good things happening, right? So this is self-punishment. This is denying ourselves the ability to enjoy life's gifts. And like I said earlier, good things happening, miracles happening, they're inevitable. They're just a part of how this universe works. And so they're happening, but if we're not believing that we deserve them, then what we're doing is we're actually disallowing them in our lives, right? We're not allowing ourselves to enjoy them, to savor them, to appreciate them, to live them, and let them better our lives, right? So it's not that the good things aren't happening to us, it's just that we're not acknowledging them. And really, a life without noticing the blessings and the good and the grace is a life of suffering. And that's why it's punishment, right? Because we are adding suffering to our lives. And today, that's what I help women do. I help women eliminate the suffering in our lives. I come to realize that there is no need to add suffering to my life. There's no need to suffer. I don't need to do that, and you don't need to do that. And one of the ways that we can stop suffering is by acknowledging and allowing and appreciating and valuing and noticing and savoring all the good and great and grace that is already in our lives, rather than disallowing it because we don't believe that we deserve it. Okay? So when we don't see it, we're actually guaranteeing that experience of the other shoe dropping, because that's really all we're seeing. We're not seeing all the good stuff. We're just seeing all the negative stuff, right? And a really, like a recent example of this would be, I was working with a client around weight. She came to me and she wanted to lose weight. And so in our time that we have worked together so far, she has already, through us working together to get her in the right mindset that inspires the right action that gets her the desired results she wants, she has actually lost a significant amount of weight. But she wasn't actually allowing herself to savor that, because in her mind, she wasn't perfect yet. What she wanted to achieve, she hadn't fully achieved the amount that she wanted to lose. So she was telling herself she wasn't perfect. It wasn't all the weight that she wanted to lose yet. So she was denying herself that joy, that pride, and victory of her accomplishments and the positive experience of savoring this good in her life, right? Because she was still believing she didn't deserve it because her weight wasn't that perfect number, all right? So that's just an example of how we add suffering to our lives, and we don't need to. And we don't need to deny ourselves the good things in our lives, okay? We can choose to notice and savor and celebrate all of those things. The second thing that we do, how we deny ourselves, and we can kind of get stuck in not being able to see and appreciate the good things in our lives, is by comparison, right? That old compare and despair thing that affects so many of us at different times in our life. So when we get caught up in comparing ourselves to others, and we're looking at all of the things in their lives, it's so easy to see all the blessings in everybody else's lives, not as easy to see them in your own, especially when you are so focused on theirs, right? You're so focused on looking at, that's so great. She has this in her life and she has that in her life and everything about her life is great. And what we're doing when we're doing that is, for one, we're completely ignoring all the good in our life. So we're diminishing all of the blessings, the joy, the fortune, the grace, the good things, all of the synchronicities that are already happening for us all the time, right under our nose, but we don't see them because instead we're focused over here on what somebody else has for blessings in their life, right? So we're disallowing them, diminishing them, ignoring them while we're focused on somebody else, right? And then we're missing out on living and enjoying our own lives. That's what happens, right? So some of you will recognize this if you that are my clients that we work together one-on-one. I call this like staying in your own lane, right? Like we all have our own life to live. We all have our own lane, right? And a lot of times what happens when we get out of our own lane and we get over in somebody else's lane, we're literally over in their business, right? And we've abandoned our own. So we're over there looking at their life and appreciating all the great things in their life. And in the meantime, we've abandoned our own life and we're not living it and we're not enjoying it. We're not savoring all the things in our own life, right? All of that's going unnoticed. So stay in your own lane, okay? Stay in your own lane by noticing, valuing, appreciating every single day something in your life that is joyful, that makes you feel good, that puts a smile on your face, that is just a simple blessing in your life that you can be grateful for, that you can experience being fully present with in your life and seeing just how amazing your life is and how many blessings that you have, okay? And then the third thing that I want to share with you is that fear that if you begin to enjoy all the good in your life and then the other shoe does drop, that you actually won't be able to handle it because you weren't prepared, right? You were busy being happy. And so you didn't see it. You got blindsided by the other shoe dropping because you were busy being happy. This is the biggest fear we have about being willing to let go of that anticipation of the other shoe dropping, because we have this belief that if we keep an eye on it, if we just prepare ourselves, we can prevent any pain or disappointment or hurt that happens when the other shoe drops. That's not true. That is not true. There is no amount of preparation that will ever prepare you for the other shoe dropping. And you don't need to be prepared for the other shoe dropping, okay? Because you don't even know what that will even look like or what that could possibly be or if it even ever will happen. So you can't prepare for something that you don't even know about, right? And actually, the only thing that helps mitigate difficulty, tragedy, or upset in your life is actually by stockpiling, taking notice, savoring, enjoying all of the good in your life. And there's tons of research on this. The positive psychology field has done like extensive research into this. And what they have determined is that that is exactly what gives you the resilience that carries you through difficult times. Not sitting in dread, not hunkered down, not waiting for the shoe to drop, but actually living your life, savoring all of the good things in your life, savoring the blessings, noticing them, being present in your life. This actually fills you up. It helps to build a resilience that will actually carry you through difficulties. Okay? The research on that is very, very clear. Okay? So if you are wanting to prepare yourself in any way for unforeseen difficulties or challenges or disappointments or upsets, the very best way to do that is to do exactly what we've been doing for the last week. Make it a practice in your life to start acknowledging the beautiful, simple, joyful, good fortune, good experiences, grace, mini and master miracles in your life. And that actually is going to give you an amazing quality of life, and it will give you the resilience you need to carry you through difficulty. Okay? All right, so I'm going to wrap up here shortly. I promised that I would give you a couple of things that are on my shoe freedom list this week, and so a few of those things are I've had some amazing early morning runs this week, and it's been really fascinating because out in the park that I run by close to my house, they're having a big dog show there this weekend. So there's they started coming about Wednesday. And so like a ton of adorable little dogs, right? And some of you know that I have a little Bichon Havanese named Mocha. And gosh, she's 7 months and she's so excited by all the other dogs. It's just adorable. Like they're so happy, right? And happiness. That's shoe freedom right there, right? I had a visit on Wednesday night from my best friend since grade 7, or since we were 7, grade 3 actually. So it was great to see her. Like we hardly ever get to visit during the week, so it was awesome to see her. I've been working with 3 new amazing women this week. So 3 new women, 3 new clients, and they're all like incredibly amazing women with great goals that we're working on. I'm super excited about that. And also I have flowers blooming. And if you guys know anything about me, you'll know that that's a real miracle, honestly, because I like literally plants come to my house to die. Like it's awful. So the fact that I actually have flowers that I have managed to keep alive and they're blooming is a miracle. For me, that's a miracle. Okay, so there's lots more. I could go on and on, but I wanted to keep this relatively short. So have a fantastic weekend. We're headed into week 2. Continue to take notes, continue to notice, continue to post in imperfect and unapologetic what you're savoring, what you're noticing, and I'll talk to you there. All right, have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you guys all soon. All right, bye-bye.